Before we get to working on this dang truck, we would like to thank the sponsor for this video, which is Upside.
As you guys know, Emily and I are purchasing this building, so it's got us thinking a lot about our finances and how to make our dollars go the furthest.
We found that Upside is a really cool tool for that. It is a completely free app. A lot of your purchases that are day-to-day, like groceries and gas and restaurants, you can claim offers for cash back. One of the things I think is super cool about the app is, for instance, buying gas. You can pull up and see what all your local gas stations are selling fuel for and what Upside offers per gallon. So I can make my selection of where I want to go fill up depending on what Upside is offering for literal cash back. You can get it sent straight to your bank account or get it in the form of a gift card. Aaron is considering it AF gas money.
That's right, or maybe boat gas money. Who knows?
Boat diesel money.
Oh yeah. Thinking about that one now. Upside users are earning an average of $1 million a week. Thanks to Upside working with over 100,000 businesses, even out here in rural Texas, we've got 4 or 5 gas stations and a hardware store right here close by.
Gas stations include Phillips 66, Shell, Valero, Circle K, Marathon, Chevron, Exxon Mobil, TA, 7-Eleven, Love's, BP, Casey's, Sunoco, and more. Restaurants, Chipotle, Papa John's, Dairy Queen, Domino's, Marco's Pizza, Arby's, Checkers, KFC, Popeyes, Taco Bell, Wendy's, and so many more.
I think it's lunchtime after that.
Dang, I'm hungry. You can earn an average of 8% cash back on grocery and dining, plus up to 25 cents per gallon in gas purchases. To find out how much you can earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code FLYINGSPARKS to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the QR code here to claim this offer.
Good old Sunoco.
Sunoco?
I think it's Sunoco.
Sunoco? Sunoco. You done messed up, Aaron. And Miley? So be sure to click that link in the description or use the QR code to download Upside. Giant thanks to those guys for making this episode possible. Let's get to work on the OBS. And when I say let's, I mean go for it.
I'm the guy. Here I go. These are the new parts. This goes right there. I had to order a socket for it. Great big Allen wrench. So we'll replace that. Old one doesn't really look worn out, but who knows. We've got a new one, so we'll put it in. Here's the bushing that sits on top of that. The old one right here was busted. I have no clue if that was affecting it, but it was cracked. And then this spring goes on top right here. That's what holds tension on it. And we got a new bearing. One that is not all grooved up and nasty, new race. And then of course there's some seals and things like that in there. But that should get the thing steering and not sticking. So once we get all this stuff cleaned up and get that new hat on the top of it, start putting this sucker back together. Then I'll move back to this project. Yeah, I gotta drill these holes. And my experience has been whenever I drill through a frame, it's very difficult to get the hole to go straight through. So it's better now that we got the intercooler off, we can drill from both sides of the frame. That way we're not trying to shoot a drill bit straight through there and have it line up perfectly. We'll get that front bolted down and then I will move to the back. The back's pretty simple, just unhook the spring hanger and put the shackle in there. So get to work. Got some wear on it. Make sure our threads are the same. Yeah, that's gonna be great. So we'll get that cleaned up, then start throwing things back together. This race looks just like the other one. It is super worn out. There's a 100% chance that's what was causing it to be tight and then give way. Those roller bearings would just fall in these grooves. Yeah, that's bad. All right, this little oil cap or whatever you call it, that goes up in there first. And then our race is gonna go in. Just knocked up in there, pretty easy. 59 millimeter, if anybody's wondering. That's what fits this race. Having a hard time keeping this straight. It keeps wanting to drive one edge in, so we're gonna do it this way until we get it up in there further. It's looking good. Quite a ways to go. Almost. It looks good to me. I'll give it a couple more hits just to make sure there's no dirt or anything in there. I cleaned it pretty good, but you never know. I can feel the way it bounces back. Doesn't look like there was any thread locker on this. And being that that's a big Allen, I'd be concerned that it may get stuck in there. So we'll just put the new one in and make sure it's tight. And I sure hope this makes it drive good. If you read on the internet, there's mixed reviews. Some people say the OBS Ford never drove good. Some people say drives great. Some of you guys have commented, you've got them and they're perfect. They drive wonderful. There's other commenters. You guys say that you never could get yours right. The way I see it is that's a straight Dana 60 axle. So you take Dodge, Chevy, Ford, all of them, same axle. Different year models, various configurations, but the same axle. So there's no reason this shouldn't drive at least comfortably. May not be perfect ever, but it should be safe. I can see on this hand-hard bar, or drag link, whatever this thing's called, those bushings are worn out, so I need to get those ordered too. That'll cause it to walk back and forth. That'll get it. Nice. So I need to pack these lower bearings. Even when I hold that together, look how much further down on there it goes. That compared to that. But yeah, I'm gonna say this was worn out. That may have been why the tire was leaning in. It's like a 610313. So we'll look that up, see what this axle came on originally. That way we can get some brake parts ordered. So if we look over here, we can see that we've got a 354 gear. That kind of explains why it lugs a little bit when you try to take off in second gear. You pretty well got to use first if you got a load on it. So what we learned is this is a axle Dana 60 from an 88.5 to a 91.5 Ford F250 HD. So when we go to the parts store, we'll run up to O'Reilly, we'll tell them we got an 89 Ford, 4-wheel drive, diesel, and we need brakes for it. So they should be able to find it that way. Now I'm gonna move on to getting these, it's always weird trying to point with the camera, getting those set in the correct position and then start drilling holes. So the manufacturer of this kit is wanting 51.5 inches. Oh, dang, knocked you around over there. They want 51.5 inches from the center of this bolt to the center of that bolt. That bracket over there can swing. So we're gonna try to get a measurement here. We're at 53, so that bracket needs to kick back quite a bit. Yeah, we're at 52 3/4. So we need to get a hammer and knock that back until we get to 51.5. I have made a mess of myself. I seriously need to stop long enough to clean this mess up. But I'm probably not going to. 52 3/4. Now this truck has been lifted. These leaf springs are new. I should probably look up the part number and see how long they are. Because if these have been modified, then I never will get that 51.5 like they suggest. Almost got her down to 52 5/8 it looks like. Let me check this out. They're both at exactly 52 5/8. I wonder if there's any room for movement in their adjustment that they want. I can't really see the center of this to even see if my leaf spring's lined up. I do have some weight on that axle that I guess I could take off. And the shackle will take up some back there. You know, it'll allow it to swing back in case I don't get this exactly right. But we want 51 and a half. If I hook that on the stud, I've got to deduct about a 1/4 inch. If I do that, I'm right at 52 and a half, so I'm an inch further than they wanted. But it has lift springs on it, the shackle will take up some. That'll probably work just fine. So here we are, 52 and 3/4-ish, but I'm on the stud and it needs to be centered, so we can deduct a little bit off this. So we're about an inch off where they want it to be, but I think that's just how it's gonna be. I snugged these 2 bolts up. Here's the one that was giving me trouble, that I'd take all this apart to get the nut on it. But if you look here, that's lined up. So I think we're gonna leave it there, even though it's an inch away from where they want it to be. Because that rear shackle is gonna do a lot of work by letting it swing back and forth. This is our rear shackle, where the shackle is supposed to be, in the rear. Got some neoprene bushings here. We're going to try to put those in here. Hopefully I don't have to run to my shop and use the press. Okay, let's see if that'll work. I like it. Now the shackle's at the back, like it should be. Okay, keep coming. Almost there.
Look at big in the truck up.
Yeah, I'll lose a little bit.
Nice.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you. There you are. There you are. Let's see how we did. Oh yeah. It's just pure beautiful metal under there. Get a towel and show you. Pretty incredible. You can see there the part that wasn't in there. Sunday morning, the girls are at the nail salon getting pedicures and manicures, and I'm at the airport. I'm gonna go fly. We've worked hard the last couple months. This has really been my only opening to jump in this thing and buff up on my skills. It's gonna be a good day. that was a great little flight. Had a lot of fun, enjoyed it. Didn't feel like I lost my chops too much. Was able to maintain altitude pretty well. Turning, kept it coordinated. Landing, got a little bounce on the landing, but you know what? I'm not perfect. Never will be. Don't want to be. That's not fun. I'm gonna go watch a little football, and I will see you guys Monday morning working on that OBS. Crack, 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 crack. Oh, there's a crack. Lovely. That one goes all the way through. That's the one I saw when I was taking it apart. That is sketchy. You can see somebody got super overzealous with the hammer knocking this in, so that seal's all kind of warped. So we'll go ahead and pop it out and replace it. So far the bearings look fine. I've got that seal beat so far down in there, it's hard to even get my chisel in it. This bearing and race look really good, so we're going to leave that, just get a new seal. gonna say that kingpin was a little bit off. That thing was leaned way in before.
I'm feeling kind of hungry. It's 2-ish.
Oh,
Yeah,
eating is a luxury.
I know. And we're luxurious people.
Oh, okay. Get this side together and then we'll do something.
Okay.
I've never worked on a rig like this, where it's got these. I figured it would have had ball joints, but it's not. These are actual kingpins, like a big truck has. That's the piece on the bottom, that kingpin. So it's kind of unique. I like the design. It seems pretty cool. I'm hoping I'm going back together with it right, because it's been a few days since I took it apart. But everything I did kind of makes sense. It doesn't. There was no parts left over. And nothing seemed to be forced. It all pretty well fell together. So I think we got it right. I could use an impact on this, but I want to feel how it's going down. If I use an impact and it starts to bind or something, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to break it before I realize something's wrong. Oh, it's more work, but I'll do it by hand. So far it feels really smooth. The only thing I can tell that's happening is that spring's compressing. I'm just driving that wedge further down in there, which is what's going to take up the gap. On the bottom races down here, I tried my best to get them as far up in there. Being that I'm under the truck, it's hard to know if it completely seated, but I'm not worried about it because it's going to have the weight of the tire on it, which is going to push it up in there. There's no adjusting this bottom anyway, so it is what it is. So if that race just naturally drives itself further in there, this is spring loaded. So it is going to work to our advantage and just keep tightening it. So I expected to find shims and stuff like that in here, but there aren't. It's just that spring, I guess, that takes the tension out and keeps the tension out as it wears. I need to get a bigger wrench on these and tighten them more. And once I confirm that everything's in there right, I'm not gonna have to take it back apart. Let's get our little gauge and measure it. So we are pretty darn close to 0 degrees on both sides. That means the tire's straight up and down. With the style tires I use, those big 19.5s, it's a pretty square tire, so I think we'll leave it at that. Not that I have a way to adjust it anyways, it's just nice to know where I'm at. So it's interesting. The passenger side, we changed it quite a bit. That tire was leaned in at the top. The driver's side was pretty good. Like, I don't know what specs are supposed to be, but it was pretty good. Passenger side was definitely leaned in. By replacing those bushings and that kingpin on the bottom, seems to have made them both the same. You know, right or wrong, at least they're both the same. I like that they're at about 0 degrees. One I think was 0.3, which is less than a degree. One was 0.1 or 0.0. I like that because the 19.5s that I run are actually a pretty square tire, very much like a truck tire. You know, and that's another thing. A lot of people were concerned about the width of the tire. Well, look here. That's got skinny tires. All trucks have real skinny tires on the front, and they do just fine with a similar axle setup. This is just a straight axle on this too. So I want to get the truck right, and I think those tires will be just fine. We're gonna grab some lunch, and I've got to get some brake parts, things like that.
It's gonna be in the very
Cool.
back like the light.
Well, as y'all know, Aaron is just kicking Fanny on the OBS. I've been on the other end of the shop cleaning out that hoist bay and that huge fab table that we have back there. Stuart has lots of projects always going on, and one of them is a barge that's back there or a pontoon boat that he's been working on. So there are a lot of parts for that, and then a lot of specialty tools. I've just been kind of moving around cleaning and making that bay open because it is time to move the big boat over here. Oh my gosh, we're so ready to get back on that project. But as y'all know, we have so many fun things to work on. So Aaron's gonna get back on this, I'm gonna get back on that, and progress will continue.
Cool. Got new seals in. I said earlier those bearings were totally fine, so we're leaving those. Waiting on my rotors to come in. We had to order those, and then we can start knocking all this stuff back together. There's more parts that go on here. I'm looking at them right there. Okay. That's all we're gonna get done today. I'm waiting on those rotors to come in. They come in at 5, and Emily has a meeting around that time. So we might as well just go back to the house, get cleaned up. She's been working hard on the shop. It's nice. Yep, it's looking a lot better over there. We gotta get Stuart's Prius out of there, his tractor out of there, move it around. You know, it's just shuffling stuff at this point. Organizing.
Progress.
Yep. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back at it. Emily's at the gym. Should be getting here pretty soon. And I'm gonna clean up a few parts. That was that skid steer again. Those guys really need a dump truck. They're storing rock over here and literally getting a scoop and driving all over the city doing basically sidewalks. It's insanity. So we got these slides. This is what holds the brake pads in. We're gonna get those nice and cleaned up because we need to put some grease on them and make sure that stuff moves around freely. This is diesel that I put in here, by the way. Tends to loosen the grease up. It's not as harsh as gas. And to be honest with you, when I smell gas, very often it makes me kind of sick to my stomach, so I don't like using it. If you haven't noticed, I could do away with gas entirely in my life. It's all about diesel for me. I guess that's bred into me. I'm showing it to you. All right, cleaned up pretty nicely. That'll work good. Feels great right there. Perfection. I love it. All right, let's try to get these brakes back together. Just trying to push that juice back up into the master cylinder. Yeah, that's the goal anyway. Okay. Now, I don't know how these things go in. Okay. All right, I think we got it. Clips on both sides that hold this clip into the bracket. That way the caliper can slide back and forth on it. Cool. Let's go to the other side. All right, so I got the track bar, panhard bar, whatever you want to call it, it's out. You can see that bushing was completely shot. I'm going to attempt to get these out because I bought new ones. Let me show you. So supposedly this is the bushings I needed. We will see. I'm trying to determine if I got to knock that collar out or if this goes inside that collar. It just depends on what you're working on. Sometimes you'll leave that collar in there and just get the rubber out. This is never a fun job. It's like this takes up the whole room where the collar used to be. So I'll start working on that and see what we end up with. Okay, it does appear that that collar comes all the way out. So we'll work on that. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. That is not close to lining up. I did get it to start up in there. That bushing was just grabbing a little bit. That's way off to the side. So I think what I need to do is measure this axle, make sure it's centered. If it is centered, I probably need to either modify that bar or order one that's adjustable. If that thing was too tight, that would be causing major issues when I hit bumps. It would be dragging the axle to one side or the other. So I'm gonna measure it, make sure the axle's in the truck straight. If it is, time for a different panhard bar. Okay, I got it jacked up. My jack stands back there are loose. It's just barely touching them. So all the weight's on the front axle. I did do some research. These leaf springs are stock height, stock load. They've just been replaced. So it says right here on it, 8th month of 2021. So they're fairly new springs, but they're not a lift spring. So we don't have to worry about that. The only lift we have is going to be coming from these, because this does lift at 2 or 2.5 inches. I can't remember. So now that the weight's on it, I got to see if this axle's centered underneath the truck. And I guess the best way to do that is going to get a straight edge off this rotor here, and then measure over to the frame where the shock mount bolts to. That's not scientific, because the frame might be shaped a tad bit different on both sides, but we'll just kind of do some guesstimation and see if we can get a decent measurement. Oh, let's see what we got here. Not a real good eyeballer, but looks like 13.5 to the part of the frame right there by that shock hanger. Let's see what the other side is. So we're at 13 3/4 this side, 14 1/4 that side. So if anything, the axle needs to come this way. That's a problem, because the pinhard bar suggests the axle needs to go that way, or track bar, whatever you want to call it, that thing right over there. So I really need to find a better way to measure this. The frame does look mirrored on that side. It looks the same. I guess we'll just have to go with this, because I don't know any other way to do it. We're not going for science here. Go right to the bottom of that. That bar is splitting 13 7/8. Let me check the other side again. Okay, this axle is 3/8 of an inch further that way than it is this way. So the axle does need to come this way, give or take 1/4-ish inch, which means that panhard bar is absolutely not going to work, and it's probably never been right. So that may have had something to do with my steering. I don't know. I'm not a steering guy, you guys know that. But when things are wrong, it's safe to assume it was causing some problems. Because, I mean, this is serious off over here. We're an inch off from that panhard bar going in. So I need to order an adjustable bar. That's all there is to it. See how long it is. Probably have to buy a universal one, because they're not going to offer one for this particular truck. And if they do, it'll be crazy expensive. So we need a bar that is adjustable from, say, 20 to 22 inches. If I have to, I'll just go get some pipe, put some new ends on it. But I bet I can buy something in that range. We may be stuck on this for the day. I was hoping to get it done, but what are you gonna do? I'm headed to the shop. It is a nasty, rainy day in Texas. Believe it or not, back when we were shooting all those Peterbilt videos, you guys know that it's just been storming almost all year. And it stopped and really hasn't rained since. It's just been hot and hot. Found out yesterday that panhard bar wasn't gonna work, so I ordered an adjustable one. So we'll see how that works out. I think I can go test drive it without that, because we gotta move the big boat over. That's on the list. That's one of the reasons I'm rushing to get this truck back together. I think the truck's still for sale. Even now when I'm out there working on it, it is just not a labor of love for me. I'm just trying to get a machine back together so that I can use it to do something. And I really prefer, if I'm going to own a vehicle and invest time into it, especially an older one that takes a lot of time to keep it going and keep it good, I want it to be something I'm very excited about. So we'll get it back together, see how it drives. Hopefully it's good. I think we fixed some stuff with those bearings. I definitely think we fixed some stuff with that. I keep wanting to call it a ball joint, the kingpin system, because that passenger side's no longer leaned in. So we will see. Hopefully I'll get it back together today, but there's a lot of pieces. Once I tore into that intercooler and all that stuff, there's just a lot of stuff that's got to go back together. So we'll see. But I'll be there in a minute. We'll get the lights on and get back to work. I'm driving the Miata today. This is my in the rain car, I guess. Emily had some running around to do after the gym, and I didn't want her to be driving around in this. Water pools around here, and I would hate for her to be stranded or something if it sucks some water up into the engine. So I'm driving the little car today, and it's freaking fun. I sold this car back in the day because I needed money, but also back then I was a little bit more insecure and I felt dorky driving a Miata. Now that I'm over that and I really don't care what people think, I freaking love this little thing. It's amazing. Well, I made it to work, had me some breakfast, made another cup of coffee. It's time to work on the truck. I think what I'll do first, I'm just gonna go through that and tighten all the bolts that we put on, all the suspension stuff, just make sure everything's good and tight, and take that pan hard bar off because it's not gonna fit. Hopefully I can get my test drive done without the pan hard bar because it doesn't come in until Monday. It's just another day of putting stuff back together, so we're gonna do that. That looks way better. The tire was leaned in a lot at the top. We're obviously turned this way a little bit, so it's a bit of an optical illusion. But that tire is straight up and down now. We do, however, have another problem. We are 2 inches higher in the front. So I guess I gotta order some blocks for the back. There you go. It's a little less than a 2-inch block. So we need a 4-inch block. Make this thing sit level. I'm not the biggest fan of blocks, but it is a very common way to lift stuff. And I'm not about to buy new suspension for this. So, gotta do some ordering. Cool, the suspension's a wrap. The shocks are back on, they're tight. I'm gonna go ahead and put that intercooler on and then start doing the plumbing for the pipes and stuff like that. It's a tedious process, but that's where we're at right now. It's all put back together. Now we just got to put the pretty stuff on. If we can get this thing out of the truck. I can already tell you the steering's different because this is super easy to turn.
Huh.
Used to it was much tighter than that. It feels very loose and free, not sloppy, but it feels very easy to turn.
Buttery. What component do you think made the steering so tight and like hard to steer
It was
compared to
those
this?
kingpins.
Really?
Yeah, they were binding. And those bearings, we saw that they were messed up. So those bearings and all that stuff. And then over here we had a bushing on the top, that upper kingpin. That was just, it was cracked and it was worn out.
Oh yeah, that white piece that was broken.
Yeah. A smooth road, so it's real hard to tell. And of course, with the back being 2 inches lower, our caster is going to be off even further. But this road at this speed feels alright.
You were having to do a lot of steering correction when you were just going straight down the highway.
Yeah.
Now pulling a trailer will change that.
It will.
But
especially something like a camper that is often not loaded super well. And they're top heavy and they have light duty springs. You know, a camper trailer is not the best thing to be trying to tow around the country. The memory steer is not as bad as it was. So before, if I aimed at a direction, it would stick that way hard, and it took quite a bit of energy to pull it out of that direction. So it's not doing that sticky thing, which helps. We should get some good bumps on this overpass, just see how that suspension feels if it's any smoother. It's still bumpy. That is smoother. It's bumpy, but it's not that like jar that it had before. Before it was like it didn't have suspension. When it hit, it like knocked your teeth out almost. Or at least the feeling of it. Yeah, it steers better. I still don't like it. But it steers better.
and we didn't mess with the steering box this time. That's why you didn't fix the steering wheel how it needs to be.
I didn't fool with that.
I knew people would ask.
Just didn't go into it. I mean, the next thing to do with the steering box is buy another new one and hope it's better than this one. It drives better. Now bear in mind, I don't have a panhard bar on this, so we're probably getting some side-to-side motion out of it. But I've ran a lot of Jeeps that never had one, so that may tighten it up a little bit, but it feels a lot better.
One thing I will say about this pickup is the AC blows are really nice and cold. So that's a sales point. I never show this part of things, and sometimes people ask us what the flow is like of actually running a YouTube business. Like, when do you edit? How do you edit? What, all the things. So it's 8 o'clock right now, 8 p.m. Aaron is outside on the porch, and he is making dinner. He's got steaks on the grill, and I am here in the house editing. So we usually get finished with work or quit work around 6:30 or 7, and then we come home. He starts cooking. His passion is cooking, and I love that because I love eating. And then I start editing, and I usually edit until I can't keep my eyes open, which is typically around 11 or midnight. So usually I try to edit every night so that I'm caught up by the end of the week, that I have an episode to post for you guys the following, or like Saturday or Sunday, because we work over the week, and then that week's work is that weekend's episode. So that's usually the workflow. Sometimes we get enough done in 1 week to have 2 episodes and be like a week ahead. But typically the amount of work that it takes to start a job and finish it, we can typically achieve that in a week. And then you guys see weekly uploads from that whole thing. And I'm very grateful to say that this view, the window's old and hazy, but you can't see perfect, but being here at my grandparents' lake house now is such a dream. Like it feels like a crazy reality for us. My grandparents bought this house in '84, and last year, 40 years later, we bought it. So we have y'all to thank for that, because being able to do this for our job and actually like be able to buy a dream house is pretty incredible. So yeah, thought I would give y'all a little bit of insight. Here's Finley being lazy. Hey bud. Finley. Oh, hello. Oh, he heard stuff in the kitchen, so then he's able to perk up. So yeah, love y'all. I'm gonna keep editing, and yeah, see y'all tomorrow in the shop. Back at it today with a truck that actually it drives decent, and that's a really good thing.
It drives gooder.
Aaron and I did not mean to match today, but when we came out in the same outfit this morning, he was like, I think this is a sign we need to drive the Z car.
Yep.
I think he's right. Mm-hmm. You guys are gonna be really excited with the ending of this episode, because we're gonna go get the big boat this morning. That thing's been sitting underneath the trees at our house, very sad, very neglected, and we're gonna rescue it from ourselves. But the first thing on the list this morning is to go get some diesel in this truck. We're gonna earn some cash back on our Upside app and take y'all along with us. $0.41 per gallon cash back on diesel at this Shell station. Claim. It is that easy on that Upside app to get some cash back on money you are already spending on everyday stuff. It's so cool. As a reminder, you can earn an average of 8% cash back on groceries and dining, plus 25 cents per gallon on gas purchases. To find out how much you can earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code FLYINGSPARKS to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the QR code here to claim this offer. We appreciate Upside offering us and our friends smart ways to spend money. This little mimosa tree has grown her limb straight across, and she's blooming. Man, mimosa trees grow so fast here. Dang. Total forklift skill goals. Am I right? He's gonna use the forklift so that we're not having the OBS out in the street trying to pull this thing in. And I've got the tripod here ready for you guys, so let's watch this unfold. It is literally like threading a needle, y'all. That's crazy. Wow. All right, we're to the bow now, so it's skinny enough. Holy cow. That was nuts. I mean, we did rub right here. Dang. Crazy. Holy cow, that was crazy. But it's in. Wow. What a trip. Dang, dude.
Well, I did that. I don't even have my forklift certification. Guess I just got lucky, right?
Holy moly, it is so cool to see the big boat in the big shop right where it belongs for lots of awesome work coming up. Next week, you'll see us give this thing the cleaning that it deserves and get all of the Duramax parts over to this shop so we can get started on that engine build. And you guys will see that all on an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.